Spy Television, the Spy Uganda, Detective UG, Andrew Irumba Live, your speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm seated casually here with my good friend. He's a rebel, Council Isaac Ssemakadde. Isaac Ssemakadde is the head of Legal Brain Trust. It's actually a law firm mainly put up to fight for the rights of those who cannot afford to pay for legal fees. And as I speak, Council Ssemakadde is actually my lawyer. He's also the lawyer for Indoja. He's our official lawyer for our association for journalists. So if you're a journalist and you're facing challenges, even if you're not a member of Indoja, we must fight for our space. So it doesn't necessarily mean that for us to fight for your right, you must be a member. No. As long as you're a member of, you're a journalist and your right has been trampled upon, you have the right to seek legal redress through us, the Legal Brain Trust, by Council Isaac Ssemakadde. By going through me, I will be able to talk to Ssemakadde and we will fight the war together. Now, Isaac, it's been a long time.
Yes. I enjoy our meetings whenever we have them.
Isaac, the last time we saw you, you had dreadlocks.
Yes.
That was the last time we met. You are changing now.
Yes.
So what is the meaning of what you have now put up? What was the meaning of the other one, or what is the meaning of this one? Let's begin with that one. Because you see, for us, in the marketing, I also studied marketing.
Yes.
How you look, personal presentation, also contributes so much to the product you are selling. Yes. So that's why I'm interested in knowing the meaning of the dreadlocks, and now this one. I don't even know the meaning of this one now. So, as a lawyer, because now we have known lawyers to be very smart guys. In fact, when you enter the courts, when like that, normally the judge says, I cannot see you. I'm not seeing you. Meaning, probably you are.
That's a very good starting point. Thank you, actually. So, I guess my colleagues at the Law Society and our stakeholders, the public, the judiciary, the government, ministries, departments and agencies will give it any meaning they want. As for us at the Legal Brain Trust and our community of legal rebels.
You have a community of legal rebels?
Yes. We have
cultivated. You have your own community?
Yes, we've cultivated a community online. And in Uganda, across the diaspora. We even have tribes in the community. Yes, a tribe is not a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing, but
so we have a tribe called
that also identifies you, and it creates harmony.
Yeah, we have assemblies.
Online?
Yes, online. Like violence assembly.
Violence?
Violence. You have to say it properly.
I'm saying violence. You're saying violence.
Violence, yes.
Is that different from the violence that I know?
Yes, perfectly different. The Violence Academy and the Violence Assembly are related products. So the Violence Academy hosts a Violence Assembly, usually on demand.
On demand?
On demand, yes.
To
insult a particular person.
Insult?
Yes.
Isn't that illegal, Council Ssemakadde?
No.
When you assemble to insult a person, isn't that illegal?
No, there is no right not to be insulted. There is no right to be protected from an insult in a free and democratic society.
So you have a right to abuse me?
There is no right for you not to be abused. All right?
There is no right for me not to be abused. Therefore, you have a right to abuse me.
There is no protection for you from being abused. So, yes, as long as you want to live in a free and democratic society, you must accept
to be abused.
You must accept 3 norms. One of them is called a plurality.
Plurality
of views. Yes, that means many, not single.
Not singular.
Yeah. So the way words are used in communication will not be what you know or what you were taught.
The singular word you know.
Yes.
Or the terminology you know.
Or the meanings.
Or the meanings.
And yes, there will be, you have to accept when you enter community, when you leave your home and enter society, you must accept plurality. Yes, if you can't accept plurality, go back home and stay there. The second is called broad-mindedness. The second pillar of democratic society is called broad-mindedness. And the broad-mindedness requires a thick skin, especially as you interact with the public. For instance, if you interact with public affairs, you have to be extremely broad-minded. Yes. Because
your antennas must be wide enough.
Yes. You mustn't be taking offense lightly. Because you cannot dictate how public affairs are discussed. They may be discussed through the violence assembly, for instance, through a mutual exchange of insults.
But how can
there is a market for it?
But how can an exchange of insults really have space in democratic space?
Well, that's called plurality. And there is a whole body of literature, we can go into it later, but there's a whole body of literature on the purpose of insult. Yes.
There's a purpose.
There is a purpose to insult.
Give me just one primary reason.
It's called radical rudeness, dissent, to communicate dissent. You see, so much bad behavior is protected by the opposite language to insult, which constitutes packages like humility, civility,
you must have
decorum.
Yes. I think those are the tenets of a good society. You must have humility, you must have decorum, and you must have respect.
Those are the tenets of power. Those are the tenets of power, not good society.
They're also tenets of
who demands decorum in society? Who would you last remember asking of you decorum? Was it the oppressed or the oppressor class?
The oppressor.
Yes. So these are tools of war, rhetorical war. The oppressor class has an arsenal of rhetoric it demands.
One of them is
civility, proper forum.
Have a decorum.
Have decorum.
Have respect.
Wait for the proper forum. This is not the right forum.
Yes.
Come for tea with me when no one is watching. No cameras are allowed in this meeting. All that is rhetoric. All that is called performing power. So insult subverts traditional protections for power, for performing power. It subverts power. It makes power naked.
You unveil them.
Yes, and the emperor is then naked.
And see what is inside.
Yes.
By insulting.
By insulting.
Why don't you subject the other person in brain power than insult?
It has happened. But you see, it goes
Why
nowhere.
don't you unveil by simply...
Again, that's called you're opposing plurality. Why should I do it by that way?
You have your own way.
There is another way.
Why should I dictate my way?
Yes, plurality. So once you must accept plurality, free society rests on a three-pod stool. Plurality is the first one. Broad-mindedness and thick-skinnedness is the second one.
So out of these three, why are you picking?
There is a third one before you go. It is called plurality, broad-mindedness. And tolerance is the third one.
Yes.
It closes the
you must
triangle.
be tolerant.
Yes, and who must tolerate the other?
Each other.
Thank you. So there is no superior in tolerance. Tolerance is draw. Tolerance is draw.
But Councillor Isaac Ssemakadde, in a society, if you don't have leadership to say this is our superior, I must be subordinate to this. Can you live in a country, for instance, if this country had no governance? Even now you're a lawyer. Yes. Would you be a lawyer if there was no governance? Because even by you becoming a lawyer, somebody told you there was a structure. That structure to see you through, there was leadership. If it was not there, you wouldn't have become who you are. So why don't you respect that level of leadership?
Let us take your thought process to write logical conclusions. What has been the overall outcomes of legal education in Uganda. Are lawyers spectacularly useful today?
Yes. You are useful.
How many of people lawyers are like me?
Okay, there are some useful lawyers.
The question is, there are some useful lawyers against a community of thousands.
47 million.
Yes.
So
the question I'm asking you is, overall,
generally,
given the challenges Uganda faces, are lawyers equal to the task?
Generally,
yes. Do Ugandans have a good reputation?
Generally speaking,
yes.
There is a problem.
There is a problem. So therefore, so we now walk back. The problem must have a source, and the source may be in the rules of inculcating legal education, and it has to be insulted.
Hey.
Yes, insult is a crucible. It has to be touched. Insult torches. It destabilizes and disrupts. It can even burn.
That's why last time when I was with you said, I am an anti-clockwise thinker. When the world is thinking clockwise, I am thinking anti-clockwise.
Plurality. There has to be somebody to defend plurality. There has to be somebody to impose on others a burden of tolerance. And that is what we call constitutional equilibrium.
Anti-clockwise thinker.
Yes.
Others are thinking clockwise. Ssemakadde is thinking anti-clockwise.
You have to save. You have to offer a community a safe corridor. Every community must have a safe corridor for rebels, for outliers, for the unpopular, the unwashed, to also enjoy freedom.
The underprivileged must also find glory and harmony in the same environment as well. So now let me take you to the next question.
Yes.
Is that the reason you are seeking for presidency as the Uganda Law Society president?
You could say so, yes. To challenge the legal community.
Because
it
is now official. You are seeking
its money where its mouth is.
Put the money where its mouth is.
Yes, not its foot. Their foot is in their mouth and has been in their mouth for so long. So we are challenging them, asking them, do you believe in these values? Do you believe in the democratic values of plurality, broad-mindedness, and tolerance? Do you practice them internally? Are you a broad church?
Internally. At LDC, do they tolerate those values?
Yes.
That's what. So you're entering inside to challenge them.
I've always been inside. I've always been an insider.
But now you want to go, to be at the helm.
Yes, I've always been an insider. I've always been subjugated inside. I have struggled hard. You asked about hair. When we did the hair you first spoke of, we were pushing back. We were starting the pushback.
By you putting these dreadlocks, there is something we are trying to start up.
Yes.
Let us correct this one also.
Yes.
And so how have you corrected it now?
I think so. Otherwise, I wouldn't have received nomination. There's a community of lawyers that find me worthwhile, find that project worthwhile. Because
right now you can enter the court with your dreadlocks.
Yes.
And the judge will have to listen to you. I think previously that was not possible.
They have listened.
They would say, I am not seeing you.
Yes.
Now they can see you.
Yes.
So you have won that one.
Those are small steps. small steps in the right path.
Now they can see you. So now, what is the meaning of this one now?
It is on the shirt.
Back on track.
Back on track. So Back on Track is our campaign platform which we are launching. And because I have a plurality, I have the opportunity to, because I have hair, I can use it to celebrate a plurality of hairstyles. If you make me cut it off, then you deny me freedom of expression.
Your hair also expresses something.
Yes, it is a reservoir of ideas.
The hair?
Yes. If I make it like this, I communicate one thing. I make it like this, I communicate another thing.
Well, now, I am seeing everybody who goes to prison,
Yes.
the first thing they do is to cut off your hair.
Yes, why? Why? It's against the rules. It's against the prison rules. It's against the Prison Act. It's against the Constitution. It offends dignity. It offends privacy. It offends presumption of innocence. This is a person against whom no judgment has been passed. The only order from court affecting their liberty is to restrain their movement only, not to trespass on their body. From here, what will they do then? Remove teeth against will, remove eyes, pierce you with all sorts of fluids.
So I think that is another thing you need to fight for when you...
I am filing a case. I gave notice to the prisons authority. You didn't read it.
So now, Comrade Ssemakadde, you want to vie for presidency of Uganda Law Society. Give me some of those primary objectives you want to look at. Why you want
There are 4 objectives.
Number 1.
Our campaign platform is a 4-legged chair.
Back on track.
Back on track is a 4-legged chair. It's a 4-legged campaign platform.
4-legged campaign.
Yes. The first one is decolonization. And I think it needs no description for you, Pan-Africanists.
As a Pan-Africanist.
Yes.
You want to decolonize.
We want to kickstart a program of decolonization, which should have started a long time ago. In fact, it was already underway before independence. But after independence, we stopped. So there was too much activity to decolonize social, political, and economic life in Africa before independence. It's ironical that when we got independence,
these ones continued.
No, there was no further. The decolonization movement collapsed.
Stopped.
Yeah, it was suppressed.
Once you acquired your independence.
So which means that the class of Africans that acquired independence was particularly chosen.
They could have been part of the colonizers.
Yeah, they were an extension. They are called the Lancaster House Group. They were part of the colonizer class. They did a deal in Lancaster. Even the social ideologies that they exhibited, as we saw from their outcomes, show that they were not really serious about decolonization. If they were, we wouldn't be where we are. Yeah, but of course, you have to also be sympathetic to them. They must have tried. I have to be honest. The forces to recolonize Africa were violent and virulent. They even did coups. They killed anybody who attempted to continue a decolonization program. So I'm not saying that we are angels or better than them. Yeah.
They did their best.
Yes, they did their best. Patrice Lumumba was slaughtered. Our friend from Burkina, Thomas Sankara. Slaughter. So decolonization is not simple. It's death. We have to be ready. So
you want to start that process from the legal perspective by exactly doing what? What do you want to do? What do you want to think of
the whole purpose of back on track is to recruit a new breed of lawyer. That's all. A lawyer who is aware of decolonization as the first objective. The second is demilitarization.
Of what? Demilitarization of what?
First, demilitarization through law.
You want to demilitarize the law. So because I want to understand,
so
where is your front line? When you say decolonization, demilitarization, whom do you want to attack?
The state.
The state?
The state, yes. The purpose of the Uganda Law Society, apart from organizing lawyers into a trade union, is to help midwife a capable state. Because Uganda is a fiction.
Uganda is a fiction?
Yes.
Why?
As a state, Uganda is typically Captain Logad's loot. You know Captain Logad?
Futuputu.
And now that's Gerard Poto. That is his mercenary friend.
Yes, that's Gerard Poto.
So these two are mercenaries.
Captain Logad.
These are two are imperialist mercenaries for a company called Ibeko. Ibeko.
East African something.
It's Imperial British East African Company.
Yes. So now, You think the law is still harboring these?
What you call you need to understand the political history of Uganda. You have forgotten it.
No. I know.
So it has been hidden for a long time. It's not even taught anymore. There is no state called Uganda.
There's no state called Uganda?
No, we haven't begun to build a state. It's a work in progress, and we are far behind other states.
55 years later of independence.
There are those who call that Uganda. But you see, the first person to use the word Uganda was Captain Lugat. And when he said Uganda, he meant Uganda. And then he began to do havoc through Poto, Sahari, Johnston, Bishop Tucker. They built the boundaries. By 1926, they were satisfied with what they had done. That process of building those boundaries was fraudulent. It was achieved through trickery
and violence.
Most important, violence.
Killing people.
Yes, so that violence is still within our DNA. How do we remove it from our people? How do we de-traumatize our people of this colonial mayhem?
Okay.
So that they can have a common vision in moving towards a democratic state.
Okay, so now you think you achieve this by becoming the president of Uganda Law Society?
I will not achieve much. I will spark much.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just like you spark the rebellion for the air.
There's not much time to complete the whole project, but I will use the time to explain it. And that means we shall sow seed. Yeah.
So you are starting off a revolution.
You could say that.
Well, you started it already, because now I am told you can now go with your dreadlocks in court and the judge will see you.
I'm not starting anything. We are reviving.
Okay, what's the other objective, number 3? Because you have
democratization.
Democratization.
Yes. Challenging power. Existing power. Existing power networks. Fighting cliques and cabals.
Cliques and cabals?
Yes. In favor of the citizen. Reminding those who hold official power and those who hold unofficial power that all power must
go back to the people.
Of the people. Yeah.
Power belongs to the people in the books, but when it comes to practice.
So we are going to animate Article 1 in every aspect that we can, given the resources and comradeship that we shall enjoy during our mandate.
Comrade Ssemakadde, I have something I'd like you to allude to also.
Yes.
When you look at the leadership of LDC,
yes,
Law Development Center,
yes,
are you satisfied with its operations, how it does business?
No, I'm not.
Why?
I've already gone on record and said that's an organization beyond its use by date. It ceased to be useful in the year 2001 when the government of Uganda changed its education policy and enacted a new law called Universities and Other Tertiary Institutions Act. LDC should have transformed into a tertiary institution or a university.
A university?
Yeah.
But there is Makerere?
It should have fitted its objectives.
In that kind of setting?
In the new setting, it has never. And that's a misnomer. That's an aberration.
An aberration?
Yes. That is, it's a ghost now. It died. When that act came into force, LDC died. So what you call LDC
is a ghost.
Is a ghost. It's the physical structure is a boneyard.
Boneyard?
A limbo.
Hey.
As they call it here.
In Uganda? It's a limbo.
Limbo. What do they call it in Western? A graveyard.
Malaro.
Malaro, yes. So the physical structure is a malaro. Then the moving things are ghosts. So all that's the zeitgeist you get from LDC. You look at the press it gives. What do you hear from LDC? Do you hear anything good?
Yeah, every year it outs thousands of students now ready to go for practice.
Are they happy?
I don't know.
Do they go anywhere? Have you tried to do a graduate tracer program to see where the LDC products end up? Do they end up in gainful employment? Do they find a reception where they are going? Okay. So we don't ask these things because we don't like to trace. Like I said, it's a boneyard. And it's dangerous because it's very dangerous. You have to worry for Ugandans the longer it continues. Because what good is a doctor or a lawyer who is sad and has trauma? How can they be the vessel of justice when they themselves are broken psychologically, ideologically, physically, financially? It's a place which only unleashes onto the public dashed hopes and broken dreams. LDC. It has just completely been smashed.
So given the power, what do you want to advocate that you want to happen at
There's a minimum package. And there's a broader package. The minimum immediate package is to withdraw the tuition monopoly from LDC.
Tuition monopoly?
Yes.
Elaborate a bit on that.
So LDC is the sole institution that offers a program of education known as a back course, a compulsory postgraduate diploma in legal education, which is a prerequisite to
practicing
law under the Advocates
Without
Act.
it, you cannot practice law.
Without it,
Yet
you
you're a
cannot
lawyer.
practice law in Uganda.
You have studied law for 4 years.
Yes.
Makerere University has given you a degree. Now, instead of going to practice law, they tell you first go for 9 months.
Yes.
But without those 9 months, you cannot
So
practice.
what they want, so we have to look then at the process design. If you want a diploma, why must you require a sole provider of a diploma? Doesn't that violate some constitutional norms?
A sole provider?
Yes, of a diploma. Why should the government institution
Be the one to give.
monopolize, yes, education? Again, it's the government policy of liberalization of all education across the board. Why was legal education not liberalized post-university? Look at it now. We have almost 15, 16 providers of university education for lawyers.
And all of them must go through one institution, LDC.
A boneyard. Stop calling it an institution.
Amararo.
So they... Yeah, so
for it to be accepted to practice law.
Yes.
Now, I'm imagining 15 universities outing law students. Like the exit is this huge, but then the entrance to the LDC is this narrow. All of you come from different universities going to for the law.
All of you have been found competent.
Yes.
To proceed to the next level.
Yes.
By a licensed and accredited institution.
The door that allowed you is this huge. Now the door that is going to make you enter into that the LDC is this, small, and all of you have to push yourselves to get admission, which has not been happening.
That's what we call black on black apartheid.
Black on?
Black on black apartheid.
Hey.
Yes, so the postgraduate diploma is conducted through an apartheid system.
Which was left by the colonials.
What was apartheid?
In South Africa.
Access for a few. It's that simple. Access to the legal profession.
Access to resources.
So yes, so access to the legal profession, access to legal practice.
Is apartheid.
There's an apartheid seal. You're all qualified,
but if you are going to now,
so LDC forces itself to use an apartheid valve to select. Its selection criteria is similar to apartheid, really.
Because
so, sometime back, they increased the campus because they have limited resources. They try to do 3 campuses in Barara and Gulu
and Lira,
but they have closed one.
Where?
Yeah, one of those, So
they have closed.
Yeah, they realized that that wasn't the solution anyway. The numbers.
So now, so they have 3 now.
You remember, you leave the numbers that are coming. Remember, there are numbers that you didn't get last time. The applicants you couldn't take in.
So imagine having like 10,000 students who have completed their law degrees. Now they want to go for a practicing certificate, which is 9 months, and there is only one institution that can allow them. They are not able.
And that institution is just a creature of law.
They are not able to be admitted, not because they lack anything, but because the institution cannot take them in. How do you account for that lost time?
A good word. That's a good word, accountability.
How do you account for the time they are going to spend at home not working? Not because they are not supposed to work or they don't qualify, but because your processes have not allowed them to get the certificate and then start.
So the government, which is the owner of LDC, and the management at LDC have an accountability problem. They have no answer. They have no genuine, rational answer for a question that goes to labor. Number one, a question that goes to access to justice. Because when you keep this labor stagnated, you deny access to justice. You deny Indoja, a lawyer. You deny the entire community of journalists,
a
lawyer.
But also, not only Indoja, let's begin with the individual.
Yes.
Because that individual, when you calculate the money from baby class up to university, degree is 4 years. That individual, the parent who has been paying from baby class to that level, assumes that now this man can now go and take care of himself. But the government is holding you back. You cannot practice law because you don't have a certificate. But then I qualify to join, but I'm not able to join. Yeah. And you're not paying me. So actually, I think some lawyers have been sleeping. Why don't they take government to court? For denying them
Go back where we started. Legal education does not promote democracy. It promotes dictatorship. Most lawyers are not awake to plurality. They're not awake to broad-mindedness. They are not awake to tolerance. They are opposed, actively, violently opposed to progress, especially of the native citizen. Once you join the legal profession, which is colonial in nature, you instinctively start demanding that others don't join it. Yes.
You want to block off others.
Yes. It becomes the instinctive zeitgeist, of the yeah.
Instead of going in to fight for the greater good society, you block.
The boy who came from the Shamba in Mitoma, once he becomes a lawyer, does he return to Mitoma to build the community on the principles of...
He wants to be the only one in the community.
And he stays in Kampala.
Yes.
He never wants to return to Mitoma. So he's divorces himself from the economy of Mitoma. And so he's not moved when he hears that more boys from Mitoma are stagnating at LDC. And even when they pass through LDC, they stagnate at Law Council. He's not concerned.
So tell me, Council, there is a parent, as we finish on this point, there is a parent who sent me a message yesterday when I shared that post yesterday supporting your candidature. A parent called me and said, Irumba, I am going through pain, and I'm sure many other parents are going through the same. I paid for my child from baby class up to university. She went to this in Mukono. That is UCU.
Yes.
She finished. Now she's at home because LDC cannot take her up. This is a child, a girl child. She's growing up. She's growing up. Her life is changing. I wanted that at least by the time I phase out, I have already taken care of all her education needs. She has finished her LDC. Now she's able. But now we are here waiting. We don't. And the other thing that annoyed him, he doesn't know when this problem will be solved, because he told me, I don't even know when she will ever be admitted. Because when she went to argue, they told her, by the way, you're arguing, but there are students who have been home for 3 years. Not for you, are just complaining, who has just finished yesterday. There are students now.
Like I said, lawyers. So now you understand. Is decorum a good thing? Is civility a good thing? Is good manners good? Okay? Can the oppressed class achieve development by being excellent at good manners, at civility, at humility, at meekness?
No, but we can demand for our rights in a civil manner.
They have been civil. 23 years of civility. 23 years of civility. Have they brought reform in legal education? The current leader of the LDC wrote a book more than 12 years ago. She wrote a PhD and got graduated on showing an existing problem and a solution. Now she's part of the problem and is campaigning against her own cheap PhD.
Who is that?
Pamela.
Pamela who?
You can Google.
How you tell me?
I just know her as Pamela. The other names are useless to me because I think she's fundamentally fraudulent. And I told her the same because she happened to interview me for her PhD. And I told her, I doubt you are fundamentally, intellectually honest. You're just seeking to get a PhD for a job, which is exactly what has turned out to be. She used that PhD to get a job in the Uganda Law Reform Commission, did nothing useless there except to charge Ugandans for law. Can you imagine? Soft copy laws have been available to us free of cost. But Pamela, who wrote a PhD on access to legal education, sanctioned the policy of saying you have to pay per view access to law. Pay per view. That person needs to be shot and killed on firing squad. I am telling you, if Ugandans understand the meaning of that policy, how do you hide the law from the people? Yet the principle is that nobody is presumed to be ignorant of law. So where will I have seen the law? Yes.
No. Are you going to solve the problem by shooting?
That is my plurality.
No, Mr. Ssemakadde.
You can take your extreme view. I have taken mine.
Now, if I wronged you here, solving a problem by shooting you.
A person carries a PhD on access to law and justice. And when we give her government money, she does the opposite. Isn't that treason? Isn't that treason? What is the punishment of treason? Death. Death. And you see, when treason is committed by lawyers, you don't see it. You wait for revolution. When the people take punishment in their hands, what will they do to Pamela?
Murder. Violence. Mob justice.
I have spoken.
Mob justice.
I have finished.
Ssemakadde, as you finish, we are ending up. Now, without me interrupting you, I want to hear your closing remarks on your key issues that you're going to be tackling when you take over presidency.
The fourth one and last one is on the chart.
Back on track.
For digital
transformation.
Yes. There is no reason why our people are not catapulted into progress by the available science and technologies. ICT is an equalizer. Okay? We have seen that story in many fields and in many countries. So now there is no more excuse why we cannot catapult our people into the benefits of science and history by mere touch and pay and go. Pay and go. There is no reason. And so you can imagine, if we do not take position of power and use the pulpit of the oppressor class to explain what's wrong and what has been wrong for so long, nothing will change.
Nothing will change.
Yes. So that completes the 40s.
You finished the
Decolonization, demilitarization, or decolonization of the state, demilitarization of the state, democratization of the state, and digital transformation of the state.
Those are your 4 pillars you're
Those
going
are the
to
4 pillars of our mandate. Back
when you
on
go.
track.
When are you beginning your campaign?
We have begun. I received my nomination last Friday,
Yes.
just yesterday.
Yeah.
After passing through difficulty, everybody else it was seamless. But my nomination process was officially objected to by the judiciary.
Why?
They gave their concerns to the committee.
Judicial rating to LDC?
Yes.
Did they do the same to other?
No.
So
They wrote to the elections committee of the Uganda Society
what was their
through
point?
the law council,
What was their point?
saying that
of
although
concern?
this man has no conviction known in Uganda,
Mm.
there are concerns among some unnamed judges that some of his activities online constitute offend them.
Why don't they take you to court? Why don't they take you to court? We settle that one.
Those are the contradictions in a society with a judicial crisis. And that was the essence of my reply. I wrote back to the law council and I said, I've received this complaint, which you say was filed 2 years ago. I never received. Why am I receiving it
Now that
now
I'm standing.
when I'm standing?
Eh,
If you filed a complaint with the law council on the 1st of March 2022, why do you wait to see me progress professionally? And you wait for the penultimate moment of decision. You say now, we're in a banja yangi. Okay. So I said, my response, which I will share, it's baseless, it's frivolous, and above all, a gross embarrassment to the judiciary, which should know better. You know? Because it should be the beacon of tolerance.
Democracy, tolerance, civility.
No.
Eh.
Get them right. It should be the beacon of the of the 3 democratic values, starting with plurality of views. There has to be a tribe of abusers in every community. Yes.
Proudly there.
Proudly there.
If your father was part of those, would you be proud of him?
It's not my concern.
If your father belongs to
Haven't you ever celebrated an insult?
If somebody insults me,
There's a whole industry of internet, of entertainment, of literature. What do we read? You mean we don't read? You mean insults are deleted out of books and movies and films and speech? And what constitutes an insult? It's a perception. It's your perception. If you don't take the perception, if you just if you put it aside and try to interrogate the statement scientifically, will you be hung on the insult?
yes.
An insult is a figure of speech.
If you say I am a fool,
Yes.
you want me?
Can you prove that you are not, for instance? Is there a value in proving that you are not?
Can you prove that I am?
I don't have to. It's an opinion.
Eh.
And the right to opinion is absolute.
For you, what you say, I am a fool. You don't have you don't have to prove.
Yes.
It's an opinion.
Yes.
However, for me to prove that I'm not, you want me to prove to you.
You see, if you form the view that you're anything other than foolish, you have to state exactly what you think you are. And then if you state it, then the duty to prove is on you. So if you want to prove your clevers and waste the rest of your useful time proving your clevers, it's okay. You go to court and prove your clevers.
Okay, number 2, you said there were 3?
There are 3 values. Plurality,
Yes.
broad-mindedness, and tolerance.
Tolerance.
And we tolerate what? We tolerate only that speech which is unlikable,
Which you don't like.
unpopular. Yes, so the duty to tolerate. We don't tolerate what is acceptable.
So court, I mean, the judiciary through the law society, by rating to LDC,
to law council,
law council,
to write to the elections committee.
they lacked these 3.
Yes. they fell short
Of these three.
exhibiting those three. Yet they have a constitutional duty to be the last guard.
All these.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's there's no better case for us, and I think I was fortunate to be the specimen for our platform, because there are those who didn't understand it. There are those who didn't understand how persecution works. How when you go to tell people that there's somebody watching every move I do and blocking me. But
They don't understand.
They don't understand it. They think you're mad. But I was happy that they got a chance to see it live and how it works.
Everybody else was nominated seamlessly.
On one day, I had to.
Ssemakadde came, this one now. This one.
They forced me into a 2-day budget. Yet I had a budget for 1 day.
1 day.
I even missed my father's wedding.
Hey,
Yes.
your dad was wedding.
Yes.
You didn't go
I didn't go.
because of this.
Yes.
We should take this to court. We should pay for that.
No, we are going to take it to democracy. Court is also democracy. The court of the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are going to take them to the court of the people. This is why. Yes.
Judges under fire.
Yes.
Human rights, independent judges, and the rule of law.
Yes.
Howard the Bear.
I'm going to be the purifier of judges and the judiciary in Uganda for the short mandate I have.
1 year.
Yes. It's just enough.
You're going to be the weighing scale now.
Yes. Yes.
Isaac Ssemakadde, the leader of the Brain Trust,
Now back on track campaign.
Back on Track campaign,
For
is
Uganda.
vying for presidency of Uganda Law Society. I personally believe in Ssemakadde. He's actually my friend, very close one. But also I believe in, many times we have arguments, but I live when I actually have a point. You know, sometimes they bring up these arguments as a presenter to simply stir up a debate. But I also understand what you're going through. This is the same thing I was talking about last time when we were together in the media industry. Some journalists, when they were arrested, they thought it was about them. Until I went and lectured to them that you people, they are beginning with you. The other ones are sleeping. After these ones, they are coming for you.
As the leader, as the pinnacle leader, you can't
Yes.
sit.
So I told them we better
You can't
start.
ignore a trespass.
Yes, we better start fighting on this one, so that they don't find space to come for it. Well, Mr. Ssemakadde, we may not finish this every time we meet. I think we are going to make episodes.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ssemakadde, for your time, for giving us time. I wish you well. And I want to tell you that the Spy Uganda and the Spy Television will be with you, will work with you in the trenches until the last day.
Please make available as much of our more than 10-year archive
Yes.
public now.
Yes.
Every picture,
Yes.
every video,
Yes.
make those small things and show people who is Ssemakadde
Yes.
in the best you can.
I'm going to do that.
That would be the best.
Thank you so much. My name is Andrew Rumba Katusabia Speaker, and this is Comrade Ssemakadde Isaac, the rebel. I call him the rebel, the legal rebel. Thank you. I say now.